Josh. Welcome to WorldView.
And I'm Julia. Two American hikers who had been detained in Iran finally arrived back in the United States on Sunday. Shane Bauer and Joshua Fatal thought they would be imprisoned for 8 years for espionage and trespassing after accidentally hiking over the Iranian border. A female friend was released last year because of health reasons. The release of the two men was negotiated by the United States, which included a $1 million payment to the Iranian government.
The leader of the peace process in Afghanistan was assassinated last week, and the man responsible was quickly arrested. He was thought to be part of the Taliban and was acting undercover as an emissary of that group and the Peace Council. The bomber hid a bomb in his turban and blew it up while shaking hands. The meeting had been called to discuss ways to negotiate with the Taliban to ensure peace.
Last Friday, President Ala Saleh returned to Yemen to a crowd of protesters who were being shot at by his army. The president ordered a ceasefire, but the army opened fire, putting the death toll over 100. The United States government asked the president to step down to allow the Gulf Cooperation Council to take control.
Women's rights in Saudi Arabia are much different than here in America. Women are not allowed to drive or leave the country, or to vote. With a change in government policy, women will now be allowed to vote in local elections. King Abdullah decreed that women can now vote after more than 8 decades.
Due to budget reasons, Russia has decided to continue the use of nuclear reactors similar to those which led to the Chernobyl accident in 1986. The chief executive of Rosatom, a nuclear reactor company, said that the Russians are planning to lengthen the age of their Soviet-era reactors from 30 to 45 years. International nuclear safety experts are skeptical.
The Chechen Republic has been trying to gain independence from Russia since 1991. They want to be free of control because of the way Russians treat their citizens. Russian government workers can, for example, kidnap or kill a member of Chechen family with little punishment. A human rights group called Joint Mobile Group has been sending investigators to give evidence against the kidnappers.
Pope Benedict XVI made a historic visit to the monastery in Erfurt, Germany, where Martin Luther studied before beginning the Reformation. The Pope intended to show how Protestants and Catholics have grown closer and invited both groups to celebrate the 500th anniversary of Luther's 95 Theses. Many Germans continue to express their anger over the way that the Catholic Church handled the sexual abuse charged by Catholic priests.
Small manufacturing companies want to open factories in African countries, but have been apprehensive because many of those countries have unstable economies. Still, some countries like Madagascar can offer stability in their economy. A new cocoa factory has been built there because of the abundance of cocoa bean. The cocoa will be sent down a river to the factory in a canoe. One of the challenges already faced by the company is how they will transport enough goods since the canoes are so small.
A hair found a century ago by scientists in Australia may be from an aborigine that lived there 50,000 years ago. Scientists hope the hair will help prove that the native people of Australia migrated from Africa 70,000 years ago. Matthew has our service news.
Thanks, Julia. First, we would like to thank all the chaperones that helped out at the dance last week. The big sweep is this Saturday. 15 students are needed, and there are plenty of spots left. Meet in the Summit parking lot at 8:30. Dress appropriately and bring gloves. Lunch will be provided. The Athletes for Others Committee will be collecting clothes for the next 2 weeks. Look for the boxes in the upper school hallways. Think Pink is also kicking off next week. Look for the daily puzzle in the halls. Get ahead on your hours. You'll be glad you did. That's all the service. Here's Clark with the sports news.
Hey everybody. This week in sports, the varsity volleyball team beat Millennium Charter and Forsyth Home Educators. They also lost to Greensboro Day. JV volleyball beat Greensboro Day and lost to Forsyth Home Educators. Varsity field hockey beat Carlisle 5-0. JV field hockey beat Greensboro Day as well. Varsity boys soccer lost to Greensboro Day and Carlisle. JV soccer lost to Greensboro Day in a tough match. Cross country ran great against Forsyth Country Day in the 5K race. The football team lost their first home game against Davidson Day. Thanks to everyone who came out to support your Eagles.
Thanks, Clark. That's all for WorldView this week.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for participating in Spirit Week last week. See you next week.